What's up, everyone? Welcome back to not your traditional episode of the Heel Hookers podcast. This time, we got a good old fun one. We're hitting you with a nice mid-year review, some good old front runners to the mid-year, the end of the year awards, but getting it done 6 months in. See what's going on through the first half of the year for the UFC and all things in MMA. We got a couple, I think one other thing that's non-UFC related, in this.
Yeah.
It's, hey, it's
One
PFL,
singular standout.
PFL 1. They've been slacking this year, so not too much good stuff to talk about from them.
Yeah.
But before we get into all of it, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy everything we do. We appreciate it, everyone. Let's go. First award to talk about for this year. It's a good one. It's a fun one. Everybody's favorite knockout of the year. For all of them, we got two from that we'll be talking about. First one for this is an amazing one, honestly. It's crazy. I kind of forgot about it until we were going through everything and looking at it all.
No, yeah, seriously. It's like so crazy the way things can just be forgotten about week after week, all the fights we see. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
UFC 313 main card opener. Mauricio Rufy taking on King Green in his biggest step up in competition. Just went out there, first round spinning wheel kick, 2 minutes, 7 seconds into the first round. It was absolutely vicious. The way of just fainting with it, with the hook and spinning everything, it clean as it could get, perfectly set up. It just another one of those where everyone was like, oh, look at this video of him training it, like, backstage. And it's just like, yep, it's
that's what the great fighters do.
That. They train the things that they do before they go out there and do it. It's one of the, but
yeah, it's hardly a freak accident. I will say, though, that it is impressive that he was able to find it that quickly, because it's like Bobby Green is known to just move and just do a lot. But it's like both of them in those 2 minutes landed a total of 4 strikes. Rufy not even throwing 10. So it's like in under 10 strikes, you found just, that perfect distance and ability to catch that. Like, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
It was amazing.
The second one for this, though, it's new, it's fresh.
The wounds are still hurting.
It's on top of all of our minds. It had to be put in there because the way in which it happened, again, just another one of how fast, but in a championship fight, moving up a division, Ilia Topuria knocking out Charles Oliveira. That has got to be one of the greatest knockouts this year.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt in my mind.
Unfortunately.
It's because, Oliveira is just, he's been finished before, he gets hurt, but to go out there, one punch in the first round and to just sleep him like that.
Yeah.
Highest level. It's, one of the most impressive things that you could do.
No, for sure.
Oh, 100%. Like, what? There's not a lot to say about it. It's like just one of those things where it's just like, it is what it is, No,
But those are our two front runners so far in 2025 for knockout of the year. Mauricio Rufy taking on Bobby Green, and then Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Let's go.
Of course, it's both lightweight fights.
Hey, it's violence. Violence incarnate. It is what it is,
Yep.
And there's a coincidence in the next one, too.
But the next one that we're going to go into, submission of the year. Ginger, do you want to take it away? Because I know your boy's on this.
So the submissions of the year, first one that I want to bring up is Sean Brady over Leon Edwards, guillotine in the 4th round. First one to submit Leon Edwards, and just beautifully done. Like, was fucking him up the whole fight, just kept taking him down. Like, there's a round where he goose-egged him. Not a single strike, not a single attempt at one, no takedown, nothing.
Yep.
And just absolutely dominated him and was able to get a mounted guillotine in the 4th round.
Yeah. And just one thing about that too that cannot be forgotten with that performance, Short notice for Sean Brady as well.
Yep.
That was supposed to be Jack taking on Leon Edwards in a main event. Jack gets promoted to the title fight because Shavkat isn't available, and so Sean Brady has to fill in. I forget exactly how much time, but it's still like it. Leon,
yeah,
I'm sure for months and months, Leon knew about that event in the UK, and he was preparing to fight on that date, no matter who it was against. And Sean Brady, short notice to get it. Incredible the way he was able to perform.
Hell yeah.
No, yeah.
And then, Kate, do you want to bring up this next one?
Me?
Yeah, your boy.
Merab the Machine?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, championship fight for him and getting what was that second finish in the UFC?
Yeah.
Subbing Sean O'Malley in the third round. Also a guillotine choke. It was beautiful work. The first fight was a bit more competitive with it being 3-2 on the scorecards, but Merab just did not give him any chance, like at all. He was taking him down. He was doing good work on the feet, and then the third round came, and his just ability, because wasn't he like going for the north-south and then went for the guillotine?
No.
It was some shit.
What happened is like he usually like when fighters are building their base, he grabs a headlock and he try and pull them down. And instead of setting up a headlock, he sets up a ninja choke. O'Malley trying to do the right thing.
Yes.
Tries to spin out of it, and then he gets him into a north-south choke and just chokes him out from there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they had it on here as the gilly, and I was like, no, there was something about it. There was some transition, like
yeah. Because you said that, I was just like, I was like, yeah, the gilly didn't sound. It was the north-south with it. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like you said, just the being able to hold through with it, you know what I mean, and to get that championship level fight hitting a north-south choke, that is pretty damn crazy. You know what I mean? It's. But yes,
insane.
There haven't been the wildest of submissions this year so far, so yeah, just had to go with the higher level stuff of
the high level stuff has been what it's coming down to.
And it's honestly, even with like Merab, like choke, that's probably gonna be like the most wacky submission that like good chance that we are like gonna get, you know what I mean? So that could end up like holding true to just throughout the rest of the year of like hitting that in a championship fight. That's a pretty damn.
The only way I see someone hitting something wackier in a championship fight is if somehow someone gets a ninja choke on someone.
Yeah, but I'd say you see ninja chokes more now than you do north-south.
Yeah, but not in a championship fight.
Very true. Very true.
That's what I'm saying. Like, could you imagine John Silva goes out, beats like Diego Lopez, and then fights like, let's say, Volkanovski somehow at the end of the year and were to get a ninja choke over him? That'd be insane.
I almost feel like it's just the fact that you sub Volk is what gets you there, but added being a ninja choke or some shit.
Yeah. No, yeah. 100%. But let's go. Those are our two front runners for submission of the year. Merab getting it done over Sean, and Sean getting it done over Leon. Let's go. The next one. I feel like so far for this year, it hasn't been the best of like standout prospects or anything.
Because the past couple of years, we've had very clear people. Carlos Prates, Jean Silva, Diego Lopez. Like there were people that just came in and were on like 3-4 fight winning streaks within 1 year and just put themselves on the map. And it just hasn't really been like that this year.
Just definitely having the same amount of talent, like hasn't been coming in. Just everyone's just been working their way up, like, so you know what I mean. All the people that we were excited for, it's like they just got up so fast, so now they're just mostly contenders and everything. So it just didn't have like the time to just get the couple years as like a potential prospect or something. But we do have some pretty solid ones so far for this year. First one, Malcolm Wellmaker. He is the one thing with it is that he is a little bit older, I believe 31 years old. So it does just kind of suck for that side of the prospect, even though he does look very young. But new to the UFC, it just I think he's had 2 fights overall?
2 fights, yeah.
2 fights over Cameron Slayman and Chris Moutinho.
Yeah, and that knockout over Chris Moutinho, like just the getting it done so easily, so viciously and early, you know what I mean? Like that was just such a good win for him. Really got like just a whole lot of hype, I feel like, from that one. And so
for sure,
because it's just one of those things where everyone knows Chris Moutinho from the Sean O'Malley fight, you know? So to be able to go out there and just get it done way faster than someone like O'Malley, it just adds that like, oh, maybe he's a better striker than O'Malley. Like, you know what I mean? So just a very good win for him. And then the second prospect, this motherfucker, one of it. You always love it when somebody comes in out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden you just see what they're doing on social media.
Yeah,
and it's just like, yo, who is this guy?
I will say that I think at the end of the year, this guy is going to be more of what we were talking about, because this will be his third fight this year. This is his first year in the UFC in Azamat Bakoyev. Like, yeah. Because exactly, like that's what it was for me. Like obviously he's been performing well. He came in and he knocked out Zach Reese in the first round and just looked really good in there.
Yep.
And then gets put up against Ryan Loder, who was the UFC the tough winner last year.
Yeah.
And he looked good in his tough finale where it was like, okay, this guy might do some things. And Azamat just again made easy work of just knocking him the fuck out in the first round. And then, like Jimmy said, you see him on social media, and he was just saying, I don't even remember everything, but just saying some funny stuff, which makes his next fight like funnier coming up because, who's your dream fight? Like, what's your dream fight? Oh, an Apex main event. Like, give me Torres Finney or some dumb shit.
Torres Finney in the Apex.
Yeah, and that's what he said. And then he added the UFC and was just like, oh, don't tell at UFC because they'll actually do it.
And then here they are doing it, and he's fighting him August 2nd in the Apex.
Really would have been funny if they did just make it an Apex main event. Obviously, it would be so terrible, nobody want whatever, but it would have just been hilarious.
But yeah, people just asking him questions, him just saying funny things, just showing like, okay, he's a funny guy, real personality, and he's coming out here and just getting great performances. Like August will be his third fight this year. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw him in like November or December, you know?
Yep. He's getting on some more media days and stuff like that, and he'll do well for himself for sure.
No, yeah, like he goes out here, beats Forrest Finney, like him versus Piper is such an interesting fight. I'd love to see that.
I'd be down for that. I would definitely be down for that. But yeah, let's go. Like you said, it's coming up on his third fight this year, so he is putting in quick work, and just very good for him. So we'll see where he ends up at the end of the year. Same with Malcolm Wellmaker too. See how many times he can get fights in this year.
But
let's go. Those are our two prospects. Moving on to the next one, event of the year. It's another one where maybe just a little bit recency bias, you know what I mean? But UFC 317, man.
I mean, like
that was legendary.
Like top to bottom, like there wasn't a bad fight on the card.
Yeah.
No.
Like it topped off with Ilya Topuria, Charles Oliveira, Pantoja, Kai, Van Royval. Like, what more really could you have asked for from this card?
Yeah, an 11-fight pay-per-view card overall that had multiple different fights and multiple different fighters and performances to just go into different awards for this year. You know what I mean? So many just legendary fights and performances. True, like you said, just top to bottom, it truly was just one of the best cards of the year. All of the knockouts on the card were absolutely vicious. Everyone, just getting put down bad. Just a good amount of finishes overall for there only being 11 fights. So it just all the other decisions were just good fights or performances. Definitely nothing to complain about in that one.
Yep.
But then the other event of the year, a bittersweet ending, you could say, to the main event of that one for good old UFC 314.
Yeah, but not really for me.
Yeah.
And Volk and Diego, like obviously I wanted to see Diego do great things and whatever, but it's like he's 30 years old. He got some years on him.
Yes.
Volk winning that belt back at 36 years old.
Yep.
My heart couldn't have been happier. I'm sorry.
I get it.
Yeah.
Been a Diego fan from day one, and I just stay all out the fucking window to see Volk holding that belt again. Like,
yeah, 100%. And then also you have a co-main event with Patty Pimblett finishing Michael Chandler. Like, dominate him too.
Yeah. Like on that main card, the only one that was like, a bit lackluster was Yair Pitbull.
Yeah.
Then
before that, John Silva getting a ninja choke over Bryce fucking Mitchell, sending him out the division to bantamweight.
Yep. Just giving him all sorts of depth to his career. Yeah.
That is insane that Bryce Mitchell fought Ilia Topuria, currently the lightweight champion, and he was like, no, John Silva made me feel like a bantamweight in there.
I mean, I do remember that after that Ilia complete retirement, like there was like talks of that, like that was a rough loss for him too. But with this one being like, nope, I got to do something different. Like I'm out the division. It's like,
I'd say his two submission losses.
Performance.
Yeah, his two submission losses in the UFC on just overall are to Ilya and Jean Silva.
Yep. The two very rough losses to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you add in the knockout.
Knockout from Josh Emmett, yeah.
Yeah, probably the three like roughest losses you probably have in the UFC. Like that's. But yeah, just incredible performance from Jean Silva there. And then the main card and starting it off with Dom Reyes knocking out Nikita Krylov.
Yep.
Just such a good, heartwarming story. Dom Reyes just on his comeback, you know what I mean? Just a very good one. And then, just getting it done in the first round. Couldn't ask for better than that.
No, yeah.
Prelims were not bad either. Dan Ige with the win over Sean Woodson. That was a good one. Had Virna on the card. John Janan, Super getting it done over Jim Miller. That was a real good one.
Yes.
Juliana Rosa finishing Darren. That was a sad one.
That was actually really sad. But what wasn't sad was Michelle Polish getting it done over Cedrica Dumas.
Yep, that was awesome. First time with the Fighting Nerds in that one and did really well. That was awesome to see.
Always
Stu Darji going at it with Mitch Raposo. Yeah, just a lot of good stuff on this card. Definitely one that I feel like the pay-per-view portion carries it overall, where 3-7 was top to bottom was more just overall better. But yeah, both of them amazing pay-per-view events for the UFC this year. Definitely I feel like the UFC, they haven't had the bigger moments this year as much, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Been a little bit asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've definitely been on autopilot for most of the year. It is what it is. It's been like that since TKO became a thing.
Yeah. But those are our two event of the years. Very good ones for 2025. Kate, you want to go into fight of the year? Since we just had to talk about this before, and now we get to talk about it again.
Well, I feel like everybody just knows it's Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. I don't know what other fight could have topped it. 3 rounds, as mentioned in our previous podcast, over 400 significant strikes landed between the both of them, over 200 for each of them too. So it's not like it was very one-sided. Over 700, damn near 800 attempted insignificant strikes between the two of them. It was just a war for 15 minutes, and it was awesome.
Yeah. It just to be able to put up those numbers in 5 minutes, man, it's just absolutely insane. Only one knockdown too, which it's like at obviously
the very end of the 3rd round.
Yeah, I want to know what those numbers are in a 5-round fight. You know what I mean? Like just could not imagine. Would have been incredible. But yeah, that's
Van might have cracked the top 10 of most significant strikes all time with a 5-round fight.
100%.
Probably would have beat Max's record for the most significant strikes landed in a fight, honestly. Like, I would not have been surprised.
Oh, no, I know he's sitting at like 400 something, so. They could have, but they might have just been right around there.
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah. But yeah, I have a feeling that throughout the rest of the year, this is still going to stay to be the fight of the year, honestly.
Probably.
Because in our other mention is our only PFL honor.
Yeah.
Felt like we had to give it to them, though. Usman Nurmagomedov taking on in their title fight. That was such a goddamn good 5-round scrap between the two of them in lightweight division. That
very back and forth, very competitive, super high level. Like, it was just a great fight.
Yeah, both of them thought that they should have won, which it's like, it being as close as it was, I'm not surprised.
With a majority decision. So
yeah, it just incredible. That was the kind of fight that the PFL did this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they have not capitalized on that momentum at all.
So crazy.
But hey, it's one of those things. At least they got Paul Hughes back. You know what I mean? They got him with a win over Bruno Miranda. But yeah, you know, they gotta do more to get that done.
Yeah.
Like we mentioned, like when this first happened, best fight in PFL history.
Yeah.
So
it was just so incredible. And just between probably like the two in the PFL as well. Well, let's go. Those are our two contenders for fight of the year. Hopefully get some more contenders throughout then, because that would be nice. Just have a whole bunch of good crazy fights this year, but Roy Valvan's gonna win.
Yeah.
More than
they're all the 5-round fights too. Like it's very rare that a 3 fight of the year, because it's just with 5-round fights, you have the ability to get so much more out of it.
No, yeah. But I mean, like, next month we got Holloway Poirier. Like they have put on fight of the year contenders each time they fought.
That's true.
We got some good fights still to come.
Very true, very true. We'll see how all of that shakes out. Moving on, though. Female fighter of the year. Ginger, you want to go into good old contestants for female fighter of the year?
Oh, yeah, sure. One of the ones that we have is Weili Zhang. They comes in, takes the O off Tatiana Suarez for her third title defense. Hasn't fought since. Hopefully is going to be fighting soon. Hopefully against Vierna.
It's gonna be Zhang Weili Shevchenko, brother.
I mean, I think that fight should happen, but I also want Shevchenko versus Natalia Silva, but
we need the legends fights first.
You know.
Yeah, I feel like there's not like a whole lot going on in the women's divisions, but Zhang Weili has just even with her one fight, like you said, just taking the O off to Tatiana, just making easy work of her, honestly.
Easy.
Like I know Tatiana has had her issues and, like, you know, isn't the most active, but it's like, even with coming back and having all of her layoffs and everything, she still comes in and she's still been winning. And she still looked like good and dominant in there. You know what I mean? Like, coming off the win over finishing Jessica Andrade, it's like, to go in there and have nothing was insane. Like, good on Zhang.
Yeah. And her knee, like, from all the wrestling attempts in that one, like,
God,
the way
I forgot. I kind of blocked it out.
It was recently. I was going like pictures on my phone, and like I had like a screenshot of it or whatever, and I was like, oh man, that's a rough one. But yeah, that the way that it was just carved up from just going for so many attempts and just not getting any. Yeah, that was a very rough one. Yeah, good win for Zhang Weili though in that one. Like you said, just getting the O off of her.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Kate, do you want to go into this next one? Because I know that and so it's
she is, and she was my pick for this, in Jasmine Jasudavicius.
Yes.
Yep.
She has 2 wins this year: the UD over Mayra Bueno Silva, the rear naked choke over Jessica Andrade, and just that was easy work. Picked her up, slammed her, got to the back, choked her out. Like, it was it was a non-fight. It was so easy for her. You had not much faith in her in this fight.
Yeah.
And I believed, because she's tough and physical, and Andrade honestly should just stick to 115. Like, there's no reason for her to be bouncing up. But either way, it was a great win. And yeah, she's just been being very consistent. I know it's only the 2 fights, but I know she's going to fight again. Wouldn't be surprised if we got 2 more fights out of her.
Yeah.
And like I said before, with not much going on in the women's divisions, without anything being super impressive, this is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. 100%. Because it's like you said, there hasn't just been big actions, big waves. Like we're almost into July now. You know what I mean? I don't think there's been like a major top fighter that has fought and won twice this year. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just, definitely just been a slower year on the women's side for sure. But Jasmine has been doing her thing and making every single performance extremely fun when she goes out there as well.
Yep.
Just win over former title challenger Amara Buena Silva up a weight class, and then a former champion in Jessica Andrade that from down a weight class. It's showing that pound for pound level. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But let's go. Those are our 2 fighters for female fighter of the year. Hopefully we get much more fights out of both of them.
Yeah.
3 more fights from Zhang Wei Li this year, right?
Jesus.
Not happening, unfortunately. But
if she did that, that'd be insane.
Yeah, it would be.
She's like, look, I beat most of the people in the top 10 anyway. I'll just do it again. Just give me like 3 fights, and I'll fight like every other month.
I mean, I feel like she could just beat people that quickly and easily. It's, you know what I mean? It's not much of a problem, but she's getting a little bit older, so who knows? But moving on to male fighter of the year, I have a feeling that this one might stick to being the actual winner through the end of the year as well.
Especially if he keeps up with the plan he wants to do.
Yeah. Merab, man. It's 2 wins, 2 title defenses this year.
Taking the O off of Umar.
Yep. And then getting the submission over Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
2 insanely impressive wins. Like you said, if he wants to stick to his plan, I have no doubt that he will at least get a 3rd fight this year.
Mm-hmm.
And if he wins that, like 3 title wins as a champion, defending them all, that's incredible. You know what I mean? It's like,
but he wants 4.
Yeah. I don't think it happens though. Seems very unlikely.
Bruh, you're telling me that if he was able to get a fight lined up for September, and if it was like Corey and, he just kind of did to Corey what he'd be doing to people, that he wouldn't be ready for a fight in December?
The only problem with that is there's no pay-per-view in September. So
okay, the beginning of October one. Either way, there's 2 in October, so we can just act like there's 1 in September because it evens out. Like, whatever.
I don't know. October and December, that just seems unlikely.
Seems unlikely. It does seem unlikely.
We'll see.
Not? Like, it is what it is. Like, but like 3 title defenses in a year, and like cementing yourself as like potentially like the bantamweight GOAT.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, 100%.
That's on the table.
Yeah, very, very close to taking that, and getting fighter of the year. Just Merab has been doing incredible work in the bantamweight division. Like, just hopefully get to see a bunch more.
Yep.
This next one, it's been talked about quite a few times at this point. Very sad. I always hate when stuff like this happens. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Ilia Topuria, 1 fight this year, moving up a weight class, knocking out Charles Oliveira inside of the first round the way that he did.
Biggest fight this year, though.
Huh?
I said one of the biggest fights this year, though, and to perform like that, it's just
because I mean, there definitely has just been some other pretty solid wins and stuff, like Magomed getting the win over Poatan. That was definitely a very big win for him. You know what I mean? But it just nothing quite compares to a first round knockout over a former champion in a title fight like that.
Yeah.
I do want to say we do have a dark horse with Jean Silva. Won 2 fights this year. Beat Melsik Bagdasaryan, Bryce Mitchell. He's about to fight Diego here in September. And he could easily fight again in December at that point.
That's all. Yeah, for sure. And honestly, even the other person I was thinking was Joshua Van. 3-fight winning streak this year, literally just beat number one. Like, we definitely got some people that could sneak their way in.
Especially if he fights Pantoja and beats him. Oh my god!
And because that's what I was gonna say too. It's like John Silva, fight lined up, so it's like he wins that, he could easily end up in a title fight. And that could easily happen this year. So it's like for both of them could get like huge wins on a streak and possibly end up at the end of the year holding a title. Yeah. So like that 4 wins in a year and grabbing a title and running through a division, like that's kind of
like,
it's hard to beat. Yeah, that's we might have a really tough end of the year for a fight of the year trying to decide who it is.
Oh yeah, more than likely. Because Elia could still fight again, and depending on who he fights, like if Islam does win, they're like, you know what, fine, Elia, Islam, let's go. Like, fuck.
So we'll see how that plays out between all these top guys, but got some good stuff going on with some of these male fighters.
Yep.
This next one is a whole lot of fun. An incredible. I love this goddamn
category.
Yeah. Comeback of the year. You gotta love it when someone's getting beat the fuck up, looking like they're about to be out of the fight, but somehow they're able to rally and get it done over their opponent. Ginger, you want to take this first one away?
So Jared Cannonier versus RoboCop. Holy shit. RoboCop drops Cannonier twice in the first round, landing 25 significant strikes. Not landing at a particularly good clip, but almost gets him out of there. Almost, then just next round, same thing, just keeps going. It was his first 5-rounder, so he wasn't as active that one. Third round, Cannonier gets a knockdown at the end, but before that was getting beat the fuck up. Rodriguez turning up the pressure.
Yep.
And then the 4th round, Cannonier's like, nah, fuck this shit. I'm too old for this shit. Runs out there and knocks RoboCop the fuck out.
Yeah. Like you said, just started the 4th round, 21 seconds in. To be just for Jared on the older side and to get booked against unranked RoboCop, just such a big step up. Like, clearly they were just looking to get some movement in the division and get a new name in there, and to have to weather the storm, like you said, through multiple rounds of RoboCop putting it on him. And we even just saw how deadly that power is with what he just did against Jack Hermanson recently too. You know what I mean? It's to survive all of that and then to come back and get it done is insanely impressive.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
But just great win for Jared. Main event in February of this year. Very good one. Just one of those forgotten Apex cards.
Yeah.
Well, let's go. That was a great one. And then this next one, it was such a fun fight that it was almost like fight of the year potentials, you know what I mean? And 2 rounds. But Nazim Sadikov versus Nicholas Mota, that fight in Azerbaijan, opening up the main card. What a win for Nazim Sadikov to be able to come back and get it done over Mota.
Oh yeah.
He
was so hurt to the body, folded up, knocked down on the cage because of it, counted a knockdown but like to just will through it and stand up, still obviously very hurt, unable to do anything, just having Mota in front of you, just bombing left and right hooks while you're just like, okay, move with it, roll with it, move with it, roll with it.
Yep.
Get your shit together, come back, put a beating on him, and then round 2, get him out of there. Like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because it's just like, how often do you see guys get ripped to the body like that, and then they start going down, and then they just pop back up like, nope, I'm actually not going. I'm still gonna be in here.
Right. It's usually once people start getting hit to the body to the point where they're folding over and like dropping to the ground, it's done. Like, it's done.
No, yeah.
Yeah, both the fight was so amazing that both of them got all of the bonus money for that night in Azerbaijan. $100,000 bonus for both of them, easily deserved. So that was definitely incredible to see.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Very fun one there. Breakout Fighter of the Year is the next award. We got some fucking boys on this one. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of our bias reigning through on this one. But Joshua Van.
Yeah.
It's when you get knocked out by Charles Johnson last year, and then you are able to get 2 more wins after that before the end of the year. And now this year, 3-fight winning streak on top of it. 3-week notice going from the number 12 ranked guy to the number 1 ranked guy and getting it done like that. Yeah. He was just another prelim guy for the most part. Just constantly filling up fight cards and just fighting whoever. It didn't matter.
Right. And I feel like people not really giving him respect because it wasn't any like of the craziest names. It was just whatever. We noticed right away, like, no, this is a fun fighter. And it wasn't until his Bruno Silva fight 3 weeks ago that people really started talking about him. Whole time that's his second win this year. Here he is against Royval. He's our number 1 contender. That's the breakout fighter if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. Go from unranked to number 1 contender, like deservedly
in the matter of 6 months.
Wild. You do not see that often or ever at all. It's pretty crazy.
No, yeah.
And then this next one. Oh my goodness. My boy, RDR. I've been a fan of him for quite a bit in one championship. Had a rough run of it at the end, losing his 2 fights to Anatoly, saying that he's retiring so he can get out of his contract, fights in some random fight. I think it was UAE
Warriors.
Yeah. And then gets himself a UFC contract. And with the win over Bo Nickel, it just like that was really the one that just capped it off and really just because it's just like he got the win over GM3, you know what I mean?
And Kevin Holland this year too.
Yeah, but like the GM3 one was just such a terrible win. You know, like he got it done, but it looked horrible.
First time making 185 in a long time. So
for sure. But it's just one of those things.
No, yeah.
And then Kevin Holland, it's
Kevin Holland.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But to go out there and just dominate Bo Nickel like it was nothing, just so much bigger, so much more physical, ripping the body shots with the knees and everything. It was really just such a good win to just blow him up in the division and gets himself a fight with the former champion Robert Whittaker next. You know what I mean? Just a very good one to get his name out there to just all the UFC fans.
Gonna be a shame when he loses to Whittaker.
The thing is that RDR has to have the same plot armor that Dricus has so that we can get DDP versus RDR. It's the doofiest fight.
No.
I was gonna say, I remember Ginger once saying that about another wacky Dutchman. And we saw what happened.
It can't happen. It
happened then, and it'll happen.
You don't understand.
Now.
That event.
No, again, it rhymes.
That event is 5 days before my birthday. I do not need to see Whittaker lose.
Okay, that's not your birthday, though.
I don't care. It will ruin the rest of my week.
But the event after that is closer to your birthday. So that's, like, if anything, your birthday event, you know?
True. Yeah.
If that's 5 days before, then the other one is...
Oh, yeah, I'll get a second. Yeah, okay, cool. An Apex event.
Tyra.
I'm taking the Whittaker one.
Birthday in the Apex. It's a $500,000 birthday party.
Right.
Only 4 people are allowed to go. And then after the one fight that you want to see, you have to.
Yeah.
But yeah. So just real good for RDR being able to get it done. Really shining through this year. And same for Joshua Van. two insane breakout fighters, and it's by the end of the year we'll see where both of them end up in their divisions.
Yep. And funny enough, it is his fight that broke him out that is also the biggest upset of the year. One of them. Leading us into our next category.
Because I'm pretty sure
the odds actually weren't as crazy.
Yeah, they were much more tame than a normal. I think it was like he was like minus 3 something for Bo.
Minus 375.
375. Okay, yeah.
And that's what it was. But if no one took those odds, because everyone was saying, "Oh, Bo Nickal's about to run through him."
Yeah.
Which was insane to think, because I'm like,
I think this is one of those, like, the biggest upset that's not about the odds as much as it's about like you just totally killed a very hyped prospect.
Yes,
I think it's very much as people's perspective, because people just, life and death with RDR, life and death with GM3, blah blah blah. Like, it's like, and then Bo gets finished first loss of his career, first time he's been finished.
Yeah, it just vicious win too. It just everything together just all compounded. That definitely be on the list this year.
Yeah.
And then the other one for upset of the year, Raoni Barcelos getting it done over Peyton Talbot. Because I'm pretty sure that one the odds were pretty crazy.
Yeah,
with
the odds
being
were
over minus 1,000.
Yes, he was a minus 1150 favorite.
Yeah, it just absolutely insane. One of those things where we always just say of like, okay, even if we think that this guy's gonna run through, he's great, whatever. It's like it's an MMA fight, and why are the odds that big? They probably most fights shouldn't even be over like minus 500 or something. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
They're like somewhere. It's like it makes sense. Like if it was Hamdi versus Francis, it's like Francis should be like a minus 10,000.
Yeah,
because like I know we haven't been doing that, but like a little honorable mention because it was on the same exact card of like favorites just getting taken out, O's getting taken. This is when it started because Rinya Nakamura was a minus 600 favorite and he lost, and then Umar was not as big of a favorite, but minus 280. Like that was just a upset of the year card.
And hell, this past event, if Nico Price had actually beaten Jacoby Smith, that would have been upset of the year, no doubt about it, just based on odds alone.
Yeah, biggest favorite in UFC history, opening and closing, like minus 2,500. And if Nico won, that's easily that's the biggest upset of the century.
Yeah.
Like that's
again, that's all. You should only be doing odds like that when it's like, again, someone like Islam versus Piotr Jan. Literally like 4 weight classes apart or some shit, or like Francis Ngannou versus Hamdi.
Exactly. It's the odds maker be crazy sometimes. Let's go. Definitely 2 very deserving upsets of the year. We'll see if there's any other dogs that are able to go out there and get some big wins for them throughout 2025.
Oh yeah.
And then the last award to get into for this part, performance of the year. We've had some very good fights, and I feel like to start, we just gotta talk about motherfucking Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez.
100%. He just outclassed him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like Diego obviously had the moment in round 2 where he had him hurt, he got the knockdown, but other than that, where it was like a puncher's chance at that point of like being able to hurt him and get him out of there, Volk was just levels ahead. He more than doubled the strikes landed, significant and total. Like he just really showed Diego like, nah, there's levels to the shit.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah.
And they just with the whole
the story of him being over 35 because he was the first person at lightweight or less being at 145 to get win a championship fight over that age. He got knocked out twice in a row, lost his belt, came
over a year layoff.
Man. Just all things considered, man, he fucking performed.
Fighting the most dangerous guy in the division. It's like literally, everything together. It's how is that not of the year?
Yep.
Yeah, Ginger, you want to go into it?
I was about to say, and then again, it might be recency bias. I don't care. Pantoja over Kai. Like we said in the previous podcast, Pantoja went out there with a mission, and he will no longer be disrespected.
Oh, yeah.
This dude just put on a masterclass against Kai Car-France.
Yep. It just pillar to post, start to finish.
Yep.
He gave Kai no room to work, no space to get anything done.
Mm-hmm.
And to start the fight and to just run after him, basically getting him right up in his face, pushing him up on the cage, throwing shots with him, and then as soon as he got all caught up in that, takedown. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just too easy. It was just so easy for Pantoja to get it done in there.
Damn near takes it back immediately after taking him down.
Yep. So yeah, looking for subs like the entire time. Yeah, fourth title defense on his run now. Easily a performance that deserves to be in there for this year for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's go. Those are all of our nominees so far for all of these awards. Only the mid-year, so that's why we got two for each of them. But come the end of the year, we'll have more to look at and a fuller set of everything. And hopefully we get some pretty good winners by the end of it.
Yeah, dog.
There are going to be some contentious ones. I can feel it. Contentious. As in, it's going to be close.
I think RDR is just, he gets all of them, yeah?
What? I like how Ginger thought that he had to explain that to you.
Felt pretty disrespectful.
I know it did, but I also understand why he thought that. I think that. I was like, does Jimmy know what that means?
It wasn't so much that. I thought he misheard me. Because sometimes I will say a word.
He didn't know what that meant.
On that note, I'm going to go cry myself to sleep now. Out of shame.
Doom Patrol.
Peace out, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this one. We will catch you on the next episode. And that would be previewing a good old Derek Lewis main event.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. Against a fighter with one fight in the UFC. Right. I'm pretty sure Derek Lewis has about 15 times the amount of UFC knockouts that he has UFC fights.
Yeah.
But hey.
Good stuff.
It is what it is. We'll catch you then, everyone. Peace out.